Good morning.
Good morning and welcome to Media Pulse and Happy Songkran.
Of course, Songkran is a festival that being observed not only in Thailand but also in our neighboring countries like Laos, Cambodia, certain parts of China and even Vietnam, right?
And Myanmar as well,
Myanmar as well.
Is a festival where people gather for a reunion with their families, as well as enjoy the water festivals.
That's why we are seeing a huge heavy traffic flowing out of Bangkok with people flocking back to their hometowns to be with their families.
Yes.
But unfortunately for one particular family, the reunion is unlikely to be complete.
Yeah, we're talking about the Shinawat family. For them, things didn't quite go according to plan. Why? We're going to take a look at this video clip from April 2024. This was when Kun Thaksin Shinawat was making merits at the temple, visiting his hometown in Chiang Mai, and he talked to reporters about next Songkran, meaning this year's Songkran. Remember, this was said in 2024. So he said, next Songkran, hopefully, PM Pu, who is the nickname of Prime Minister Yingluck, will have the opportunity to make merits at the temple too. So he was hoping that his sister could return to Thailand.
But we are now only one day before the festival begins, and there are still no signs that the former Prime Minister, Kun Yingluck Shinawat, will make it back to Bangkok.
Yeah, in fact, he kind of signaled it at the beginning of this year. So early February, he said there are many factors involved in bringing back Prime Minister Yingluck. So he said, probably this is not the right time. Like this news headline, it says, many factors need to be considered on Yingluck's return to Thailand, and Yingluck waited in vain. Brother decides she can't return to Thailand in April.
As we all know that Kun Yingluck has been in self-exile since 2017. She was ousted as Prime Minister in 2014 by the Constitutional Court for abuse of power. And she fled the country in 2017 on the day she was to hear a court verdict in her trial over the controversial rice subsidy program.
Yes, the court later sentenced her to 5 years in prison in absentia for negligence of duty that caused the state to suffer massive losses in the rice scheme. So earlier we talked about how the Department of Corrections was working on a new regulation that would allow certain categories of prisoners to serve their remaining jail terms outside traditional prison facilities. So the new regulations says qualified inmates would transit from incarceration to alternative forms of detention. So that means they could serve their sentences at assigned detention facilities or even at home under certain conditions.
The Department of Corrections has been at pains to explain that the regulation is part of the efforts to alleviate prison overcrowding. But critics believe that the new regulation was designed also to accommodate Yingluck Shinawat once she returns, if she returns, meaning that instead of being imprisoned, she could go straight to an alternative detention facility, which could be her home or any other place approved by the Corrections Department.
Yeah, and the good news for her is that the new regulation is now in force. It's only the question of how she could get her 5-year jail term commuted to qualify for the alternative detention option. What happened to her brother Thaksin should certainly provide a good playback for her. Thaksin returned to Bangkok in 2023 after 17 years in self-exile. He was granted a royal commutation, reducing his 8-year prison term to just 1 year before being granted a royal pardon last year. So, can Yingluck follow in her brother's footsteps? We will leave it to your imagination, I guess. But definitely, it's not this Songkran because she's not here yet.
Yeah, that is for certain. So let's move on to the biggest political news items of the week. For months, the issue of legalizing casinos has dominated the agenda of the Paetongtarn government. However, when it was on the verge of having the so-called entertainment complex bill introduced to the House earlier this week, the government decided to pull back. And the question is, why the sudden change of mind?
Well, one theory is that Thepchai, the core of the coalition government, was unsure of the support it would get from its coalition partners, especially Thai Thai Party. There have been mixed signals from Thai, the second biggest partner in the coalition, over its stance on the bill. At the same time, a junior coalition partner, Prachachat Party, has already made it clear it's opposed to the bill.
Now, besides, a large group of senators have also vowed to vote against the bill. Many of these senators are known to be affiliated with the Thai Thai Party. And some political analysts believe that political parties are now using the bill as a bargaining chip. So whether or not they will support the bill depends on what they will get in return. So that's very common in politics in Thailand and everywhere else, that everything boils down to political expediency.
Yeah, if you want me to vote for you, then you better have something to bargain. But what definitely cannot be dismissed is the mounting public opposition to the bill. What started off as a small but sustained protest months ago has ballooned into broad-based rallies both in Bangkok and several other provinces of Thailand. We saw demonstrations against the bill that were prompted largely by what was seen as an attempt by the government to fast-track the bill without proper public consultation and taking into considerations concerns over harmful consequences of legalized gambling.
Those taking part in writing petitions and demonstrations against the bill include members of civil society, religious leaders, academicians, former senators, and high-profile personalities. So these people are quite vocal in their opposition to the bill. And the government was eventually forced to withdraw the bill from the House agenda. But the decision failed to stop groups opposed to the bill from continuing with their campaign. And they are demanding that the bill be scrapped altogether, not just delayed or withdrawn.
There were former charter writers who have also issued warnings that the government may be at risk of violating ethic rules and breaching the national strategy by pushing the bill. Thai Party lobbied hard to fast-track the bill, with its proponents claiming that it would be a jumpstart to the Thai economy through large-scale investment and creation of tens of thousands of jobs.
Now, the reason given by the government for the delay of the bill was that it wanted the House to spend time debating the impact from the U.S. tariff threats and the impact from the recent earthquake. The Prime Minister has given no indication as to when her government will try to have the bill taken up by the House again. She only said that more work needs to be done to educate the public on the benefits of the proposed entertainment complex bill. And a big question is, how does her government see the mounting opposition to the bill? It is her father, Kun Thaksin Chiravat, who seems to have provided the best answer. Speaking to reporters, the former Prime Minister said, those protesting against the bill are doing it out of jealousy or are being misguided.
Right. To be clear, just some information on the bill, just in case you haven't been following the news. So the proposed bill contains an entertainment complex. And within the entertainment complex, there was supposed to be 10% that is reserved for casino project in the investment. So that is what Prime Minister Paetongtarn has been trying to emphasize, that it's only 10%.
10%, but the 10% represent the heart of the whole complex.
Exactly.
Because the entertainment complex would be meaningless without a casino there.
Yeah, so it remains to be seen. The Thai Party said it's paused for now, but it's not withdrawn yet.
That's right. And in connection with the controversial bill, all of a sudden, the spotlight is now on the young Secretary General of the Phumjai Thai Party, Kun Chaichanok Chidchob. Kun Chaichanok on Wednesday stunned the ruling coalition government of Prime Minister Paetongtarn by declaring his opposition to the entertainment complex bill.
Yes, Phumjai Thai is the second biggest partner in the Paetongtarn coalition and has been seen as supporting the controversial bill or at least not objecting it because it's been quiet about it. So Chaichanok's open opposition to the bill came as a complete surprise to many people. Even the leader of Phumjai Thai Party, Kun Anutin Chanwiragun, appeared to have been caught off guard by Chaichanok's bold statement in Parliament.
Kun Chaichanok chose to declare his stance on the bill during the House debate on the impact of the U.S. Tariff threat against the Thai exports to the U.S. and the aftermath of the recent deadly earthquake. And he said there were other more pressing issues facing the country that required immediate attention from the government. So the entertainment complex bill wasn't a top priority. And even though there has been rumbling against the bill among some of the coalition parties, this young politician Chaichanok is the first high-ranking party executive to voice objection to the bill.
Many MPs in the chamber applauded Chaichanok for his statement. Some were seen shaking hands with him, embracing him as well, as he made his way out of the chamber. Chaichanok, however, was very careful to stress that what he said was his personal view and did not represent that of the party.
No, but political analysts pointed out that being the Secretary General of the party, his stance on the issue can hardly be seen as personal.
Yeah, true. What was particularly interesting was how he crafted his statement. So here's what he said. I, the eldest son of Nevin and Karuna Chidchob, and Secretary General of Phumjai Thai Party, will never agree to having casinos. I am not opposing only this particular bill, but every other casino bill, including that of Phumjai Thai Party.
This was certainly unprecedented because what was most unusual was that the Chaichanok introduced himself as the son of one of Thailand's most enduring veteran politicians.
Yeah.
Nevin Chidchob, of course, we all know this name, right?
Yep.
You don't do that when you stand to address the chamber, right? The standard introduction would be, I am Mr. A, an MP representing so-and-so province from so-and-so party. You don't say, I'm the son of Mr. and Mrs.
Why would you drag your mom and dad into Parliament?
Because no legislator has ever had to tell the chamber what family he or she comes from.
Exactly, yes. Political analysts believe that there was a hidden message in Chaichanok's remarks to Parliament. As you may be aware, his father Nevin is one of the most influential political figures and is known as the de facto leader of Phumjai Thai Party.
So if Prime Minister Paetongtarn has been highlighting the support she received from her father Thaksin Shinawatra, why shouldn't Chaichanok be allowed to publicize the advantage of being the son of an equally influential political figure?
Yeah, well, even though Chaichanok stated that his opposition to the bill was his personal stance, it's hardly believable that he did not have his father's blessing.
And regardless of his motive, what he said immediately sent his party into damage control mode. Party leader Kun Anutin, who doubled as Deputy Prime Minister and Interior Minister, quickly dismissed what Chaichanok said as a miscue. We don't know what he meant by miscue, right?
Okay.
So we could come to kind of a conclusion that Kun Anutin was trying to say that what Kun Chaichanok said in the chamber wasn't intended to be that way.
Yeah.
And it wasn't something that he was supposed to say, so it was a miscue. So speaking to reporters shortly afterwards, he said Chaichanok was only expressing his personal view. But at the end of the day, Chaichanok will have to follow whatever stance taken by the party. He's a party member, he's a party executive, so whatever he thinks personally, it doesn't matter because eventually he has to abide by whatever stance to be taken by the party on the issue.
Yeah, but the damage control didn't just stop there, because the next morning, Kun Anutin met Prime Minister Paetongtarn, and the first thing he said was to apologize to the Prime Minister for what happened. Prime Minister Paetongtarn said she was assured by Anutin that what Chaichanok said did not represent the view of Phumjai Thai Party. Everybody is entitled to his or her own view, she said.
Now, the latest political drama came amid rumors of widening conflicts between Phumjai Thai and Pheu Thai parties. Of course, we all know that Pheu Thai party is the core of the Paetongtarn coalition, and Phumjai Thai party is the second biggest partner in the coalition. And it is widely known that the two parties still do not see eye to eye on many issues, despite attempts by their leaders to patch up their differences. So far, attempts to patch things up haven't really worked out. Because once in a while, new issues would crop up and that would pitch the two parties against each other.
Yeah, we have been referring to the two parties as frenemies, meaning that they appear to be friends on the surface, but harbor deep dislike and distrust towards each other. Sources of Pheu Thai party even suggested to Thai PBS that it would be a matter of time before Prime Minister Paetongtarn decides to kick out Phumjai Thai party from the coalition. Thaksin, the Prime Minister's father, has openly expressed frustration with the Phumjai Thai party for not being sufficiently supportive of the government's many initiatives.
Therefore, it would not be surprising if the recent political drama involving Chaichanok and the entertainment complex bill has further added to Thaksin's frustration with the Phumjai Thai party. And this could explain Thaksin's reported outburst earlier this week. He was said to have declared that any political parties in his daughter's coalition government that do not support the bill should be kicked out.
Oh, but where exactly does Phumjai Thai stand on the issue of entertainment complex bill? Officially, the party supports the bill, or at least it did not raise any objection to it. However, sources within Phumjai Thai told Thai PBS World that in private, the party has expressed its unease about the bill to the Pheu Thai leadership, given the mounting opposition it is facing. There's a quote as well. "We believe that the timing of the bill is not right. There are many other issues that require urgent attention from the government. Legalizing casinos is certainly not our priority," said one senior executive of the party.
So who is this young, outspoken politician named Chaichanok? We believe that many or most of our viewers may not be familiar with this name, despite his key position as number 2 in Phumjai Thai party. But the family name Chidchob certainly rings the bell. Chaichanok, who is 35 years old, belongs to the third generation of the powerful Chidchob family. And as mentioned earlier, his father, Kun Nevin, is a veteran politician who still wields significant power within the Phumjai Thai party.
The UK-educated first-time MP was appointed Secretary General of Phumjai Thai party in March last year as part of the party's leadership restructuring. So Chaichanok is one of the young emerging politicians promoted to key positions within the party to give it a fresh image.
But we have to keep in mind that this doesn't mean that these young faces have full autonomy in managing the party, as decision-making is still largely influenced by the older generation of the party bigwigs. So, despite his display bravado over the entertainment complex bill, Chaichanok is most likely to have to toe the party's line, whatever it is. And then we have to determine first what the stance the party will take. It's still unclear. There have been mixed signals from the party, but whatever the stand the party will take, Kun Chaichanok, despite his bravado, will have to toe the line.
Yeah. Well, Thailand, just like many other countries around the world this week, have been discussing the issue of Trump's tariff. including the impact on the stock market this week, which is very very confusing.
Very volatile.
Anyway, in our case, it can be said that the government is taking a non-reciprocal approach to the US's reciprocal tariff of 36%.
And that's the stand taken by all the ASEAN countries. They had an urgent meeting over the weekend and then decided they would not retaliate. And they would go for frank and constructive dialogue with the US, to find a compromise that would certainly be beneficial to both parties.
But what do we mean by non-reciprocal approach? In short, Thailand didn't impose any reciprocal tariffs on the US like the Chinese and other countries. Instead, we are sending delegation to negotiate with the US, right? But there's a statement from the Thai government that we should look into. This came out after President Trump announced his new tariffs. And it says, I only highlight two clauses. The first one said the Royal Thai government recognizes and understands the wish of the government in the United States to rebalance trade relationships. To emphasize, the statement uses the terms recognize and understand. The tone that is strikingly different from that of other countries, to name a few, the Singaporean Prime Minister Lawrence Wong, for example, he said that Singapore is very disappointed instead of being understanding.
Very, very forthcoming on the part of the Singaporean leader.
He also said these are not actions one does to a friend. Taiwan faces 32% tariffs, said the move was highly unreasonable. Japan says extremely regrettable. So
in short, the Thailand's reaction to the US tariff threat has been very conciliatory, non-confrontational, a very Thai style of diplomacy, right?
Well, nevertheless, apart from expressing our understanding, the Thai government has assigned a team of negotiators, which the PM says she's confident will do their best in resolving the tariff issues with the US. And she also highlighted the fact that the 90-day pause on the tariffs will give Thailand's negotiators more time to formulate their strategy. So it seems that they don't really know what they're going to do about it yet, but they're going to formulate more strategy to deal with it.
But not everyone is confident like the Prime Minister. Palang Pracharat Party spokesperson, Police Lieutenant General Thepchai, came out to criticize the government for assembling what he described as a weak team of negotiators and for being too slow in responding to the Trump's tariff threats. So it looks like the opposition parties doesn't really share the confidence that the government has.
Yeah, we also have another opinion from a well-known Thai economist, Kun Supawut Saichua. He said in an interview that rushing into reducing tariffs for the US may not work. Because remember, this was talked about last week as well. He says because the US is bent on raising tariffs anyway, so reducing tariffs for them, importing US goods into Thailand now may just not work.
And what Kun Supawut said is similar to what Kun Kiasithi Amon, a former trade representative of Thailand, told us. Kun Kiet believed that there was no rush for Thailand to negotiate with the US. And we should, in fact, Thailand should take the initiative of going to the World Trade Organization, WTO, to have the matter settled there. Because if we play along with Trump's game at this juncture, it would mean that Thailand would be a party to destroying the reputation, the credibility of the World Trade Organization as well.
Makes sense. Well, despite all the talks about how to handle this trade war, there is one thing that the Thai delegation to the US need to keep in mind. Remember the issue about sending the Uyghur detainees back to China last month? Well, the US has issued a visa restrictions policy in response to it.
That's right.
And that is still in place.
That's right. But the US did not mention who are on the list of those
It's unclear.
that may not be issued with visas to go to the US.
Yeah, it is unclear who the restrictions applies to. It just says, this is the statement from the US state government. It says visa restrictions on current and former officials from the government of Thailand responsible for or complicit in the forced return of the 40 Uyghurs from Thailand on February 27th. So yeah, responsible for or complicit in. That's a very broad definition. But anyway, so whoever the Thai side is sending, I guess they better be sure that they will be allowed to enter the US.
No, but if they go with a nice looking shopping list,
Yeah.
they could be easily, be welcomed by the Trump administration.
Well, whatever it is, hopefully things will be resolved very soon, within 90 days.
All right.
At least we have a short reprieve to enjoy Songkran for now.
That's right.
Well, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy your Songkran holiday. If you're in Thailand, stay safe and safe travels as well. Happy Songkran.
All right. See you next week.
Bye.